On FML, we celebrate founders, musicians, and the people who help drive the success of founders and musicians. Today's guest embodies the collection of all three. He's a very successful musician who treats his craft like a founder while helping other musicians along the way. He's the triple threat. Find out how a door-to-door salesman and an early career in selling vacuum cleaners led to a life of teaching, creativity, music, and fun. An incredible lesson in how to be a great salesperson and how to be successful and happy. So please, grab an Eco coffee, sit back, listen, learn, and enjoy. Welcome to the Founders Music Lab, the home of the FML, where we talk to people about how they found their lives, their purpose, and the road to happiness. I'm your founder guy, Bill Waters, and I'm joined by the music guy, Steve Lehmann.
Hello, Bill.
Oh, that's beautiful. Did you practice
I was
that?
practicing all afternoon.
Yeah, good for you, man. And the coffee guy, Ed Denier.
Mr. William.
Oh, sir. You've called me many things, but not that. Okay, so our guest today is someone that both Steve and I know very well. We go way back. I consider myself and my kids incredibly lucky to have had initially Steve teach them music and get them passionate for it. But then our guest today has kept the fire of music alive and made it even more exciting for them when during their time in high school, and they're still talking about them. In fact, anytime there's a mention of a movie called Spinal Tap, it's usually followed by, "Oh yeah, we watched that about 50 times in high school with this particular guest."
The option would have been a lesson plan.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Our guest today is a leader, a founder, a creator, and one of the region's most engaging community builders. He's a driven performer and lives for entertaining. And not just entertaining, but engaging. And we'll get into some of the activities that he does around the community and how it just inspires so many people. He recently retired from teaching, which has allowed him to dive even deeper into his music journey. He has just released the latest album, vinyl that is, for you young kids. And you can catch him performing probably everywhere in town almost every day. The guy is so busy. I've admired this dude ever since I met him over 40 years ago. I did the math today.
Wow.
I know, I had to get a calculator for this one.
So we were 2 years old in the daycare. Bill, I remember that very
that's
well.
right. I know, and you were still bossing everybody around. So before we get even older, I'd like to welcome our old friend, Kevin Coates.
That's great. Thank you very much, Bill.
Oh, my pleasure.
That was very sweet. I love being here. And I just met Ed over here. This is nice. Ed, the coffee is beyond succulent.
Excellent.
So thank
Succulent.
you. Yes, indeed.
Excellent.
And great to talk to Steve and Bill. This is really nice.
Yeah,
What a nice
it's so
place.
good to see you again.
It's a real honor to be asked, folks. So
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Are you kidding? It's an honor for you to be here. So the way we start these things is always with Ed. He comes at it from his angle, and then I follow it up from my angle. So here we go.
Here we go. I like to talk to people, face to face. I love the engagement, conversation. But I really live in a little world that you just got to walk into. This is my day-to-day. This is my everything. I'm here all the time, whether here or my other location. But it's all about coffee, and it's all about all the things, the peripheral things that I have to deal with to run a coffee company. But my interest in talking to people is, what's a day in the life look like in your world? I mean, and you could, refer back to your school days or your current days, but what's sun up, what's sun down, when does the mind start working? I just like to see a bit of insight of your world.
Yeah. Well, I'll mention about my teaching world because that was my past life. By the way, Bill, I shout out to your two kids, to Mitch and Julie. Awesome. They were a treat to have in
they
class
love you.
for sure. So
Yeah.
it's so nice that you mentioned them. It was great. And at some point we should talk about Spinal Tap 2.
Yes,
Yes.
we
Because
should.
wasn't that fantastic?
Yes.
Anyways, in my teaching world, it was a very busy life for sure. I taught for 32 years. I taught 14 years in Brampton first, living in Milton, and then my last 18 at St. David, not far from here, right, in Waterloo. And most of the 14 years was all English. I did a little bit of drama. And a debating course too, which was a blast. But when I was here, it was English for the first year, and then it was music, some music, and then eventually all music, which was just incredible. I had two or three actually great teaching partners, and Ange and Sharon were just incredible, and Derek Elworthy, all these guys, Bill.
Yep.
And I eventually became the arts head and worked with those people in a different capacity, which was really fun. But it was all music eventually. So for me, that meant teaching all the guitar courses. I got to talk about Led Zeppelin and Beethoven for a living. There's no better way for that. And then it was all music extracurricular as well. I did all the coffee houses with the kids. And that's where your kids excelled too. Bill, was great. Worked with some great partners on musicals as well at St. David. So it was kind of and marking, Steve, what that's all about, right? It's all about. So it kind of teaching was 24 hours, but I always gigged as well through my entire teaching career. I started in 1987 in Brampton, but my band was just starting at almost the exact point, actually about 2 months before that. So in my Brampton years, I was playing, 3 or 4 gigs a week with a rock band, and that meant massive, in those days, massive PA system, trucks rolling in. It was university circuit, and so I'd teach till 5, and then I'd have a sound check somewhere within an hour or two at 6 or 7. Play till 2 in the morning on a Wednesday night and a Thursday night, and come home around 4, have to get up at 6, drive back to teach, go to a sound check. It was complete insanity. But that's why I always laugh about first-year teachers saying how tired they are. That's hilarious to me. But I've always had a ton of energy, and I'm marking in between sets, and I'm looking at the other guys in the band who some didn't have to get up till noon or rock and rollers. But I always had this other job that I had to go to, but it wasn't a job. Teaching was just amazing. I loved it. So when I moved here, I've always played it. Even when I lived in Milton, I played at, say, the Duke of Wellington in Waterloo, because I started playing there in first year university and started to get contacts that way. So I've always gigged all through my teaching life. I always played weekends or whatever. I retired in 2018. It turned into 2019 because I needed someone when someone resigned. And once I retired, I started playing music full time. It was a really quick transition to start doing it full time. So that's how my days have been, Ed, since then, 2019 or so. I started playing, I do all the bars in town. And some really nice plays, plus corporate things, and I have a band for weddings and all that stuff. But a real passion that I discovered right when I retired was to teach at senior homes during the day. I play about 240 senior gigs last year I did. So I play once or twice. Today was twice, tomorrow's twice. Once or twice a day. I usually try not to play too much on Sundays, just to have a day off to watch the Blue Jays. So my day now it's music from the time I get up. So as soon as I wake up, if I'm not writing music or thinking about the gig that happens in early afternoon and then a nighttime at a bar after or whatever, I'm always writing or recording or arranging or talking to bandmates about music. It's nonstop with me. So I just finished an album, came out last November, and I've been working on a new one since then. So it's all that. I've been doing a ton of writing in the last 2 months there, Ed, and I'm just thinking about arrangements all the time. But we just talked about Logic, which you taught me so much about, Steve, of course, and I've been with Logic every day for the last 3 weeks with new music, just recording, and it's so much fun.
So you retired how many years ago?
It would have been originally it was
5
June
years
of 6, probably 2019. Yeah,
So you've just been doing passion now for the last 6.
absolutely.
That's
yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
But I do want to say, teaching was a huge passion too.
No, obvious.
I've always loved that too. I loved everything about it. The kids were. I still have so many contacts with the students from back then. Many of whom are professional players now, or if they're not musicians, I find them all over the place. So that was it. But now it's just such. Every day I look forward to every second of what I'm doing during the day. Yeah.
No, I understand it, and I can, I can feel the same thing for what I do. So I don't really consider it work.
Right.
It's just the way of life.
Yeah. But I don't have to mark Hamlet essays on a Sunday anymore. That's a huge,
Neither do I.
That's a huge difference.
I was going to pick it up, but maybe not.
Well, I'll sit you in a corner. We'll go through all the speeches
Yeah,
there.
let's
Come
do
on.
that one. I remember having to memorize that.
They have AI for that.
Oh,
now.
thanks. Yeah, that's right. All right, so my turn.
Okay.
Okay, unless you had more on that one.
No, I'm good.
Good. Okay, thanks. I take you back to where you started. Kevin, at 5 years of age, what kind of kid were you? Where'd you grow up? Your school, your activities, your home life. Were you in jail at 5 years of age?
6.
Those say it was 6.
Six,
then. Okay, nice. And I'll let you go.
Well, I grew up in Burlington.
Okay.
That's my hometown. Born in Hamilton. Demanded out at the age of 1. Didn't like the pollution.
Yeah, good.
Love
good
the
move.
Tiger Cats. That's a CFL team, by the way, Bill.
Is that what that is?
but yeah, that's what that is.
Okay. I only know about the Argonauts, so.
Thankfully, the Cats knocked them out the other day. So I shan't be seeing them in Winnipeg at the Grey Cup. So I'm from Burlington. And it's a great family. 2 brothers. I'm right in the middle, vying desperately for attention in the middle.
That explains a lot.
That's everything, right?
Yep.
And it was music was nonstop in our house, but neither parent played an instrument.
Yeah.
My grandfather, my dad's dad, was an incredible piano player, and I used to have a big wooden cassette player that I would haul and put right at his feet while he was playing at his apartment in Hamilton. And my very first musical memory was him playing Moonlight Sonata, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. And I would listen to that all the time. And so that was huge for me. He and I became very close eventually. He only released 1 album in his life, and he was 78. And I'm glad he waited because I got to sing Stardust on it in 5-part harmonies.
No kidding. Oh, that's great. Did he
yeah.
release it on a 78?
No, that would have
Okay,
been great.
that's when he was
Cassette only, hissy cassette only. But it was. We've recently converted it to digital, so we're good. So he was an influence for sure. I just played a show this afternoon, and I brought my accordion to it, and because of Oktoberfest, and I was telling the story about why I started accordion, and it was at the age of 7. It was a traveling salesman from the Royal Conservatory.
I almost got caught up in that.
Somehow my parents let him in the front door. I don't know what the deal was with that. But he walked in, and all I ever wanted to play, and still are the drums. That's all I ever cared about. And I was 7, and I said, my brother instantly, who's a year older than me, he chose the guitar. So that was off the table as an option. But drums is what I wanted. And he said, "You're 7, your hands are too small to play drums." And I thought, what? Come on. Now, as a precaution, I went to the Yellow Pages the next day and called the Royal Ontario Conservatory of Music, asking if this is a real thing. So I said, "Hi, I want to play drums." And they said, "We don't have any drum teachers here." And I thought, that's the truth. It's not this, your hands are too
Right.
small at 7. That's the truth. And that began my undying and lifelong distrust for all things human.
Nice.
Never trusted another person again.
Nice.
And then the biggest mistake in my life was I pointed to the box he brought in the front door. I said, "All right, if I can't play guitar, my brother Joe's doing that, I can't play drums. What's in the box? What an error." And that led to the saddest childhood of all time, Bill. Playing the accordion
The
as a
friends
kid.
you must have made.
Just
It could have been
monkeys.
worse. Could have been bagpipes.
Yeah, it could. That's true. My poor family. I have 5 accordions now in the house. And,
Do you have pet monkeys too?
I don't. No, it's the saddest thing. But I actually love the accordion. I love it for a lot of reasons. And it even gets nerdier, Bill. It was classical accordion.
Oh.
It wasn't polkas. My teacher actually was the same teacher as Walter Ostanek. He taught Walter Ostanek as well. He said I worked harder, but he has way more Grammys than I do.
See, that's the
So
problem.
I know. So he. So that's. It was classical. It was like Bach and Mozart, and the buttons were the bass notes. Steve knows what you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not a musician at all, right?
Not at all.
But so it's bass note. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't note chord like polkas. It was all bass notes, free bass kind of, and you're playing the 2 parts. That
See, now you're
Bach
talking
is.
my language. The free
The
bass.
free
part.
bass. You got him at free bass.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah.
Yes, different spelling of bass. That's good.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I did, and I always say, like, I started writing songs when I was about 14 or 15, I guess, and the reason that happened in my mind is because of the accordion, because you think in chords with accordion.
Right.
So you have we didn't have a piano till I was 14. So once I got a piano, then I started doing classical piano. Didn't start guitar until I was in university. But 14, I had to wait. So from 7 to 14 was just this classical accordion. And polkas, that kind of deal as well. But you start thinking in chords. And Steve knows this about the accordion. You have a bass and a chord. Those buttons, there's a row of chords. You start thinking in major chords, minor chords, there's 7th chords, and diminished chords are 4 of those rows of buttons. And I hope our listeners are still with us.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is, you start, as opposed to if I started on piano, you're playing notes in both hands.
Right.
But in accordion, you're playing notes in your right hand gets developed, and you're thinking in chords in the right. I think very strongly about that's why.
That's impressive.
That's why I think in chords as a songwriter.
I didn't
right?
know that.
Yeah. So when I used to bring with my students, I'd always bring the accordion in during Oktoberfest. We'd have a laugh with that, but I'd also show them polka versions of, say, Back in Black, AC/DC, and so.
Nice.
So that's it. But yeah, so music was huge for me. The Partridge Family was my whole life growing up.
Oh, you wanted to be Danny?
No. Although I love bass. Keith, man. So we used to go to my grandmother's house, and she had incredible acoustics with this massive sink upstairs in an old war house in Hamilton. And the family would be eating downstairs, and I'd be up in the sink singing "I Think I Love You" with these massive acoustics. Then I'd come back an hour later. You all ate, I see, yeah. But and
Same
in
thing.
terms of piano, I always think that I was so in love with Laurie Partridge.
Who wasn't?
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't until we all found out they were fake, right? None of them played instruments except Keith. But I used
I
to.
didn't hold that against her.
No, but I always thought I used to love her electric piano work, and my first band at 10 was called Alice Cooper Jr. It was just a clone band of Alice Cooper, and so I did all the vocals. But I also had my accordion on a table, and I had some poor sucker across the road, Kevin, one of my buddies there. His job, because he had no musical ability, was just to push the accordion back and forth while I wailed on the piano part of "I Love the Dead" on an accordion. He had an executioner's mask on. He's going, maybe not the coolest thing, but I thought it was. We even spray painted our jeans silver. We thought we were the Happening, right?
Yeah.
So
It's amazing you didn't make it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
And in grade 10, I started a band with my brother, Platinum Loy. That was the band. No I in Platinum. How cool is that? Platinum. For no reason. And it was
didn't know how to
all
spell.
Hot Child in the City. We used to play, tons of Van Halen and everybody played, say, Stairway to Heaven as their closer because the only gig you could do was a grade 8 dance. We thought we were cooler by playing The Loadout by Jackson Brown, which no one's heard of
No one heard.
except
Yes. No one appreciated.
But I just love that piano part there, So, yeah.
That's where you learn how to play to an audience.
Yeah, that's right. So it's true, actually. It was all, those were grade 8 dances was the only gig. And then university, I was at a night class, and it was like my first month of university. And we went to the Duke after. A buddy of mine saw the piano and pushed me on to do Elton's Your Song, and then they asked me to play every Tuesday and Wednesday after that. That moved to Friday, Saturday pretty fast, and then just started playing gigs. And then I thought after the first year, well, this is a great way to make money to pay for school. I don't think my parents even knew I went to university. They didn't pay a dime, which I know firsthand is impossible these days.
Yeah.
But then you could make enough to actually pay for everything. And I did it all in the summers in Burlington at piano bars for the 4 years in school. I did sell Fuller Brush as well in high school.
Well, you have to have your one tester job.
Yeah, that
one that will
actually,
make you appreciate.
You talk about. I know your podcast talks about the formation of a person. That's a huge thing. Well, going door to door and getting doors slammed in your face for years was fantastic. I mean, that certainly prepares you for the music business for starters.
Yeah, you get used to being kicked out.
Yeah, but it was great. I sold vacuums eventually, and when I was in grade 12.
Kirby?
But no, actually a Canadian. I'll go into my spiel.
Electrolytes?
No, it was called Fairfax, which was a Canadian version of a what was the Queen? What was the Queen vacuum?
The Queen
has the word Queen in it.
Oh, Filter Queen?
Filter Queen, yeah. It was the Canadian version, exactly the same thing, but a Canadian version
Something
of that.
to be proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the vacuum.
Yeah, do you?
I actually do.
Come on over.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are formative experience for sure to go door to door and to learn how to accept that. And, I was dealing with people
you
all the time.
started out, I mean, going back to the beginning, you're sort of driving yourself. You're not your parents weren't musical.
No, not at all. My mom was an incredible teacher.
Yeah.
Elementary teacher.
Right.
Even my teacher at one point.
And she encouraged you to, did she encourage you to stick with music? Or was there ever a time where you say, no, I can't stand this crap anymore?
No, she loved that I was part of music. And music played in our house nonstop. I was going to say we had a musical family, but they didn't play instruments. My older brother was
they appreciated it.
Good guitar player and drummer, still is, especially guitar. But doesn't like playing for people, doesn't like people in general, actually. So, and he'll never hear this, so I'm good.
I might be his friend.
Yeah, perfect. So he was music, and he and I talked about and listened. We're just a year apart. So our record collection, it was all the same. It was all Queen and Zeppelin and Aerosmith and Rolling Stones and Van Morrison and everything.
Were you encouraged in school?
When I was in elementary?
Yeah.
For sure it was my parents, Bill. They played nonstop vinyl at our house. It was Neil Diamond, Elvis, Frank Sinatra, and Harry Belafonte. Nice. So just incredible. Those, everything.
Okay, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, amazing. So great. And Christmas was just incredible music all the time. So it was nonstop at our house. And, there was so much Neil Diamond that we couldn't take it after a while. But now when I have a younger brother too, a non-musical younger brother, but we still like him. When the three of us get together, say at the cottage, we have a cottage on Bellwood Lake, so we get to look at the sunset. It's awesome. We brought a turntable up there about a year ago, and now we only play Neil Diamond or the K-Tel albums we loved. That was everything to us too. Yeah. So influences for me, it was, as a young kid, it was Partridge Family and K-Tel albums. That was massive for me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you were playing classical.
Yeah.
Classical accordion.
And piano.
Piano.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the coolest thing to be playing amongst your friends.
Well, that's an opinion, Bill.
Well, no, it's not. It's experiential.
That's objectively correct.
It's experiential because I was playing classical guitar. Back then.
Yeah.
And my friends couldn't. No. They didn't like me. I didn't have friends, so I blamed the guitar.
Yeah,
do you still blame the guitar?
Well, yeah, I do, but I haven't played in a while, so maybe I should stop.
But you're right. We lived on a court, and it was a court that wasn't ruined back then by curbs and grass like courts these days. It was all
open
road, right?
Yeah.
So we played baseball and hockey all year, all day. It was fantastic, and everyone on our street everyone was the same age. We all moved in there in 1963, maybe. All those houses were built then.
Yeah.
We were all like 1 year. Everyone was one. So every house was the identical ages, and we were all best friends.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
It was just amazing. So
You don't see that much anymore.
no, absolutely not. And to have that road, so that was our hockey rink, even on Thanksgiving, for the long weekend in May for the Victoria, we would have those those snakes that you get for fireworks. They were snakes and they kind of curled around. They were carbon basically. We would revitalize second base with those black marks, right?
Nice.
So that was it. And first base was the first slant of the curb, and third was the same. Home base was the sewer right under the street light. And hockey was back and forth. I was always a goalie and just loved it. We just had a total blast. But you're right. I can very clearly hear my mom, not a European accent, she's from Hamilton, saying, "Kevin, it's time to come in and practice the accordion or your lesson's starting." And I had to take off the hockey gear and sulk in. Well, my friends, they didn't waste me about it, but they knew that I was focused. I actually taught a few of them accordion lessons too. So,
Oh, nice.
so they knew I was making money off of them. And
Yeah,
$5 an hour.
You have to appreciate that. Very cool. So,
Can I mention about my mom, Bill? You were talking about influences, but she absolutely loved, and my dad loved that I did music. When I would write a new song or learn a new song, I would always sit my mom right beside me and play it, and she'd give me opinions and that kind of thing. Or every new original song, my mom always. My dad didn't have a ton of patience. He loved music. He'd be back there walking around, but he'd have to find out what the score of the Tigers game was before the song was over. But that's fine. He was there anyway, you know. So
yeah.
always.
Yeah,
an
I met your
influence.
dad at, was it?
Might have been Descendants, maybe. Did you come see me there a few
No, I
times?
didn't.
there?
I wasn't
Yeah.
at Descendants. The downstairs. I'm having a mind
Yeah.
part. You know, the one you used, the Duke. Duke
Okay.
of Wellington.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah, he was there a lot. Yeah.
Was it a birthday or something?
He used
I
to
can't remember what it was.
He used to come when I was in first year, and I lived in the basement at St. Jerome's. I know you went to St. Jerome's High School, right?
Yeah, I did.
But you went to
I went to St.
university
Jerome,
too, right?
UCC. Yeah.
So well, that's where you met our coffee shop friend there.
Yeah, exactly. Mrs. Brown.
But in the basement, the entire basement and other floors, they'd come to watch me play, and we just have a riot together. I'd go out and get paid in the back room and come back out, and all of the tables were overturned by a brawl that happened by the St. Jerome's between the two floors or whatever. And the guy who owned it didn't care at all because he had all these drinkers there the whole time. So I mentioned that because my dad would come and he would out-chug anybody in the basement. He'd have a full jug of beer. Even this Mike guy from Stratford, who was a football guy, he would destroy. He'd have half a jug left, and my dad was long done and slammed it down, and everyone thought he was a total legend.
Epic dad.
Yeah, he was right into it. He'd do it by standing on the table too. It was the best thing. So, yeah, my dad had a ton of life. He's not with us anymore, but man, what a great spirit and larger than life personality he was.
Yeah, he
And,
was very impressive when I met him.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I had great parents who really encouraged all of us, anything we did. Didn't matter what it was.
That's
They
amazing.
loved that we went to university. Neither of them did that. Although my mom did eventually after teaching. She got her degree in the 70s, which was unbelievable to have young kids and start from scratch like that.
Yeah.
My dad, a brilliant man, always moved around. His dad was a salesman. They moved all over the place and just didn't really have the chance to do that. He had to go. He was the eldest of 5, had to go right to work and
Right.
so on. So, yeah.
Right.
He worked at Ford his whole life. So.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Yeah.
that
He was
a good company.
He was a carpenter at Ford, which is bizarre. There are 2 in the whole plant. That's why we moved from Hamilton to Burlington to be close to Oakville.
Oh, okay.
Because going down the Hamilton Mountain was brutal in the winter and so on. So, yeah, there was a carpenter in the truck plant and one in the car plant. And they built all the offices and the crates. And he works, as he says, 6 and 7 days a week his whole life. So he was a very hard worker. And we know that we got a lot from him because of that.
Right.
All of my brothers worked hard, so that was the thing.
It's the power of great parenting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Translated. You learned a lot from that. I mean, you
No
did
question.
it with your own kids. You've got two amazing kids.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Great dudes and dudettes.
Very, yeah, very artistic too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And you, so what was your decision to get into teaching then? Was it influenced by your mom?
For sure, that was part of it. Yep. It's interesting. I started university in 1981, and right up until that time, right up till August of that time, I was enrolled in a completely different path, which was in business administration. I was accepted at McMaster and Laurier and Western. I was about to accept the Western one and live at King's College, right? Similar to St. Jerome's. And I decided to, because I always had that success in business and loved it. And
You're milking your neighbor kids.
yeah,
$5
that's right. I really loved it. But then I thought it was a bizarre decision. I thought instead I'm going to go into be an English major, and mainly because I was so passionate about music and wanted to write better lyrics, essentially.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So that was the thing for me. So I changed the whole path. So I started in English, and that was it. So I have a degree in English, I have a degree in religion, and I have a lot of music as well. And Teachers College was English and music.
Right.
And it was a total different change. So it wasn't till second year that I really started thinking about, and I had some friends that were doing it too, that were going into teaching. So yeah, after 4 years, I always worked hard at school. I really liked school, and did all right in it. So I got into Teachers College in a few places, but I went to Toronto, U of T, for Teachers College, and loved living downtown there and met up with some great friends as a result, and we still are. So yeah, so I guess
More gigs.
teaching. Yeah, lots of gigs. I never played. I always came home for gigs when I was at Teachers College. It was just 1 year back in those days.
Oh, right.
My daughter's in Teachers College now, and she has to endure 2 years. She's in the middle of the two.
Oh, man.
But no, that was teaching. As soon as I started Teachers College and met with some great friends, I knew that was something I would love. And my mom was so right saying that I would love it.
Yeah.
I always wanted to, because I also love English. I also love math and science. Those were my highest marks in high school and so on. And I always thought, well, maybe I should teach grade 7 and 8. So I get to teach all of the subjects. I would love to do that and maybe coach or whatever. But my mom said, you would love high school way more, which is bizarre because she was a grade 4 teacher and knew the elementary. She said, you'll love getting involved in the extracurricular part of high school. And she was totally right about that. Yeah. So I actually was qualified for grade 7 to 12, or OAC was happening at the time. But started really liking the high school part with the extracurricular and got into it. I always coached baseball for every single year I taught for all those 30 some odd years and just loved it. So
Did you really? For the school?
yeah. Boys and girls. St. David.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Loved it.
Should have come out to the Waterloo Minor Baseball Association.
Yeah. My brother and I,
I was a convener there.
my brother taught, I convened early too. I
you?
had enough of that. But my brother taught at Eastwood, and he and I and another guy from Resurrection started the Boys League, which eventually became to 28 teams. So yeah, we started
The
that.
Boys High School League?
High school, yeah. It was slow pitch though. That's what it was, because those guys, they all played fastball or hardball.
Right.
Hardball was always my favorite thing, but we started that so that kids had somewhere to go after high school, and so many of them still play. And they talk to me and say, "I just talked to a guy 2 days ago. It was one of my players, and he still plays all the time." So we started that, and then we Mike Redfern, you remember Mike?
Yes.
He and I and Aaron Riley started the girls' team at St. David. We started with a team from St. Mary's, and we joined the public league that was already going, and then that expanded to the separate and public leagues too. So I used
you were
to love
dealing
that.
with bureaucracy back then. Hey, always. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're a teacher, you're dealing with admin
Oh,
and
for sure.
bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And I remember St. David's getting rid of all of their extracurricular sports. This is I went to St. David's.
Yeah.
So when I got there, they had stopped their football team. They had a basketball team still.
Okay.
Little bit of gymnastics, but that was about it. And it didn't come back until a little later, until we had new administration.
Why did they stop all that?
I don't think they were getting enough volunteers.
Oh, okay.
There was insurance concerns.
Right.
There was a lot of, I don't know, I was a student then, so I can only speculate what the challenges were. But to get things going in a university today or not a university, in a high school today is...
Mm-hmm. Oh, to start something new like that.
To start something
right.
new. Like when you did it,
Mm-hmm.
you probably had a lot of support, internally champions that were helping you.
Yeah.
I hear of teachers trying to do these things today, and they're not getting this support.
Oh, wow. It wasn't an issue at all then. This was, I started at St. David 2001. So there were a lot of sports there. I have a lot of great friends who were the phys ed teachers, that whole department there.
Verbisky. And,
Yeah, just fantastic guys.
oh, incredible guys.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, dedicated.
Yep. And so it was no problem. They liked. I always got along with the principals and vice principals. I guess that's part of it too. You have to make sure that they're all on board if you're starting something new.
Mm-hmm.
I was the arts head eventually, so I'm in on all the meetings with the admin. So that's how I probably got closer to some of them sometimes. No, that was no problem at all. Now since then, they made a change. What was it, 12 years ago or something? That D8. The Catholic has to be separate from the public. So that's the year I stopped coaching, because it was no longer we're no longer allowed to play the great teams from Cameron and Grand River, and those were the great teams. Although we only won the championship once, and the final was us against Rez out of those 28 teams. So so once that changed, and it's still like that, it's still separate for sports. I'm not thrilled with that. I wouldn't find that although I'm not going to speak for the teachers now. I'm sure they still love coaching and everything. But that took the fun out of the leagues that we had created for both the boys and the girls. It was gone instantly. So that's when I was gone instantly and focused on musicals more.
Well, I think we were fortunate to have a good group of teachers and administrators at St. David's, because that's where my kids were able to enjoy.
Well, your kids were great in the arts too, right? Mm-hmm. The musical Big Man. I can't say enough about that. Yeah, you don't know this, but I have a copy of that, Bill. Look at your eyes open up now. I can watch your.
Wait a minute.
I can watch your
I'm
kids.
sorry, I was told that did not exist, or we were not allowed to have one.
Well, I always have ways, Steve? Yeah, I always have ways of figuring things out.
We're talking later. I want to see that the dance routine.
Yeah, they were great
on the piano.
Amazing. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, that was a great experience.
The one who was the main guy on the piano is a priest now. So he's not, well, I guess he's dancing, in a different way, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Dancing to a different drum.
That didn't rub off on my son.
Yeah, no. I encouraged it. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, you better become a priest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good times. You did a lot of the coffee houses. You did them all, right? I mean...
Well, I had a ton of help. I didn't do anything. I worked with the kids to prepare them for it, and along with other great teachers that helped too. And great students that helped in auditions and recognizing talent and so on. Coffee house is a major undertaking that requires a really good team, and I always had that. Now, when I started at St. David, I asked, could I... I think they were trying to get rid of, like someone was doing it and they wanted someone else, and they asked if I would do that because they knew I played and so on. So in the first number of years, it was heavy metal bands and throat singing, and it was crazy. And I used to have to hire Trevor Woodhouse, who's just incredible, and Matt Kaninsky, just incredible sound guys with monster equipment.
Yeah.
That's the kind of acts that they were happening. And that's all it was. It was heavy bands. Then I started teaching the guitar courses, and I started with one section. And I went around, I thought, I'm going to focus on this. Right? I'm teaching 5 Englishes, which I loved, and one guitar, but I'm going to try to expand the guitar. So I kind of recruited a lot of kids. And I wanted a real focus to be, I went to a lot of great, incredible female players.
Yes.
Because if you go to almost any school in guitar class, it's just guys.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And I knew there were some really interesting girls in my classes, in my English classes. And I wanted them to be part of this and to push them to do songwriting and that kind of thing. So I ended up having my classes were kind of half and half, guys and girls, which was the mix that I wanted. And then a lot of those girls and guys started doing a ton of songwriting. And then the coffee houses changed because of that. So it was more like a 1960s coffee house where it wasn't metal bands. We always had bands, but the mix was very different. It was acoustic players and singers, and
But it allowed for more creativity and collaboration
and a push for original music, right?
Yeah.
We tried that much more than just doing covers. So it turned into a really
was pretty
healthy
impressive.
mix.
There
Good.
were some really good acts there.
Incredible acts, yeah.
Yeah.
We had the 50th birthday party of St. David about, 12 or 13 years ago. Do you remember that, Steve?
Yeah.
And we had a 50th anniversary coffee house. And so I brought a ton of these acts back.
No kidding.
And we had recently talked about, did we talk about Spinal Tap on the air? It was, right? Or was that,
Yeah.
was that before we went on?
No, I introduced it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had just seen Spinal Tap in a theater with a lot of these former students of mine because they were showing it for one night at the Princess, the original Spinal Tap 10 years ago.
Right.
We all went out to eat at the Hoother first, and we all saw they had never seen it without me pressing the mute button, right? They'd never heard the real F-bombs. Now, I should say I know the movie so well. I've seen it. I've figured it out once. I've seen it over 250 times. I know exactly how to do the mute button, but for the students, I always just was slightly behind just for comedy.
Oops, yep.
So I don't get sued, but it's enough to get a sense of where those F-bombs are supposed to lay. So we went to the real Spinal Tap in a theater where they actually heard for the first time the swearing.
The way it was supposed
and they're
to
all
be.
looking, even though they're in their like 28 or 35 years old, they're looking back like, are we in trouble? Like, we allowed to? It was classic. So, so we loved that. And on field trips, we'd always bring Spinal Tap along.
Yeah.
And I'd pretend, they were grade 9s, so I shouldn't be doing F-bombs for them, but I'd pretend to run up and, press the mute just slightly late and so on. So they're exposed to it. But anyways, the fact that we had them all there gave us the idea, I'm going to include all these kids in this 50th anniversary coffee house. So we had acts from way back, even way before I got there, right? Phil Lehmann's brother Paul was playing at that. You were part of that, right, as well, Steve?
Yeah,
and I think you and I played. Did we do Get Back by the Beatles or something? We did something, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was about a 2.5-hour show of incredible players from way back, way before I got there, and plus all these great original people.
You guys have always had such a large number of really good singers at that school.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we love that. And there was always, when I did the coffee house, there was always this great girl. She's wonderful. I talk to her sometimes still, Maggie Kieswetter.
Yeah, I was going to bring her name up.
She opened every coffee house with original music.
Yeah.
And I got her to open that 50th
Did you
as
really?
well. Yeah. And that's all in video too. I'll give you a link to that. You'd love
would
it.
you? Yeah. I love Maggie.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of Julie's best friends.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So so that changed the nature of coffee houses. I used to in Brampton. I used to have a songwriting club and so on. So that was always a big thing for me.
Do you see this at other high schools?
I don't go to other high schools.
thank God.
Or they wouldn't have you.
That's right.
One or the other.
Yeah, I actually just started being part of other high schools. I was asked with the business association, whatever it is, to go to other schools with several other vocations, and it's kind of guess my vocation. So I've been to Forest Heights recently, and I went to Blueville recently. But those are the first times I was ever there.
And what do they guess you are?
Well, you go to a table. It's great. It's wonderful. You go to a table, and they have 5 or 10 minutes to ask you questions, and you're only allowed to say yes or no. And you go to 6 different tables. So far, they haven't come close to what, and they just think I'm an accountant, or they think I'm an entrepreneur. There we go. That's interesting, because the way I answer their questions. Do you always work from home? No, not always. Do you write contracts? Quite often. Like, it's always, they don't know what to do with any of it, right?
Yeah.
At no point do they ask if you can sing or whatever, right? So, and then I get up to the front we go back to the table, and they go through each of them, and they get everyone else, but I'm not even close. I don't know what my problem is. I guess I'm more of an accountant.
Well, you're an outsider.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We've always said you were different.
Yeah, that's nice. So no, I don't know about other schools. I do know. I just passed this on my way home from a show this afternoon. I passed Forest Heights, and it says Coffee House November. So I was very happy, a little smile. That things I'm sure they go on. I know they went on at EDSS because my in-laws are all from Elmira.
Oh, okay.
And they used to have coffee houses for sure. But
Yeah.
who knows? It depends who's in charge of it, I suppose, where the focus is. Maybe there are rock bands at some places like we were a long time ago, but it doesn't matter. What it does, it gives those kids a huge community.
Yeah, and
to
it gives
hang
them
out with.
exposure and
Yeah.
not just a community, but an opportunity
Yeah.
to find out things. Like, I think Maggie Kieswetter is an example.
Mm-hmm.
You brought her up earlier. I don't think she was always encouraged to go that direction until she
Right.
got to St. David's and was playing with you. And
Mm-hmm.
it sort of opened up her world.
Yeah.
I can imagine that did that for quite a few people.
Well, I hope so. I
know it did.
I found those kids to be so interesting, and I could talk to them forever. And I really, really loved it. I loved those coffee houses. I loved the preparation for them, the rehearsal, the sound checks were always fun. And the best thing about them, and I always encourage that this is all one team, that we support it. We're not in competition at all. We're the opposite of that. So, and again, it's not just me doing that. These are great, great teachers that I would work with that would encourage those kids to be part of that for sure.
Right.
But, and then at St. David, those kids who were in the arts community at that point, we started doing really fun field trips away, like, 4 days in New York City, or Chicago, or Cleveland. Hello, Cleveland. And so those kids, their close relationships are from those trips for sure, right? Mm-hmm. I always remember Cleveland. Bill, you like this one. We were in Cleveland, and I had all my guitar kids who came on that trip. Might have been 25 of them. And we played a set at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland.
Did you really?
Up on this stage, just rocking out, having the time of our lives. And the best thing that those kids still say today, a lot of them, is that we opened for Metallica. It's true. It's a true story. We at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, the part we never tell anyone, and we swear we'll never tell anyone, except I'm exposing it now, is that there was 2 weeks between our performance and them, but there was no one in between, and that was the same stage. So, so that's the part
Claim
to
to
edit
fame.
out, Steve, because so I can still say we opened for Metallica.
I'll hold on to that until I get to see that video of Big.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Yeah.
Mitch's white shirt.
Oh my God. I was in tears that night.
Yeah,
It was fun.
it was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Steve's thing.
Yeah.
Were you playing at it, or what? Were you just
at what?
in the show, or
For the musicals?
yeah, for those musicals?
No, I worked with the vocals on the kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I was always helping doing the vocals with the kids. Yeah. Oh, I played accordion on one song, if you remember. That was for a Celtics on Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
For the Veggie Tales song, I did the accordion on one. So I went from the booth to the accordion and then back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I love about you. You've always been someone who would somebody would ask you to help out. You were there without a question.
I'm that dumb. You're correct, Bill. Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to say it,
Yeah, you
but
could say it.
it's good to know the dumb ones out there. I got Steve here now, and Ed's picked up on it.
So much.
Oh
dumb.
yeah, I am dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I tell you enough.
Works out perfectly, doesn't
But
it?
I'm making money every time he says coffee house. It's another ding in my.
That's true. Yes. That's perfect.
Coffee
I love
house.
it. And
Like
by the way,
Eagle
I
Cafe.
can't say enough about the haunted haunted, what is that, caboose?
Caboose.
Yeah, blend. That's amazing. This is a roast premium dark level here at Eco Coffee, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm sucking back right now,
what's
and
funny
it's
about
fantastic.
That's a funny story why it's called Haunted Caboose. So when I moved in to St. Jacobs, there was a little caboose in the back of the building. And I went to Marcus Shantz, who was the Shantz family owned St. Jacobs at that time.
Right.
Milo had passed, but Marcus was the head of the empire. And I said to him, Marcus, I really want to put a coffee shop in the caboose. And he's like, no. And I'm like, but why? It would be like a little espresso bar. Just imagine people walking up. And he had just gone through the terror of having closed the ice cream shop that was there. And they had, in agreement, closed it. And then the people that closed it reneged and said, "Oh no, they told us we had to leave." And it was it was one of those styes that he was, just stewing on, and he wanted no part of it. So I said, "Come on, Marcus, let me have the caboose. I'll just put a little espresso bar." And he said, "Ed, the caboose is haunted." And so I said to him, "You know what? You just gave me the name for a great coffee, and I will always tell that story behind it."
That's perfect.
So to this day, if Marcus hears it, he'll know.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, folks, if you want a dark, premium dark, I'm excited. I'm going to be grinding some beans in the morning. This is very nice.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Good plug.
I told you for
Well
$10
done.
bucks I get it in.
Yeah, he knows how this business works.
And about those coffee houses.
That's right.
Who do I talk to?
But no one ever drinks coffee out of them.
No, that's not true. We brought coffee to our coffee houses, right?
No one's ever asked me, though.
The kids served the coffee up in treats, and everything went to a cause of some sort.
That was
right?
pre you, Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
If it was pre
you were
me.
here
Yeah. Do they still serve coffee? Do you know?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think so.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I'm out of there.
But you guys had so many events there. You had either the musical or Celtics on Broadway in alternating years. You had Coffee House, and then you had like Spring Music Night, and
Yeah, we had
you
all
had
the
so many.
the
List
arts
them all.
nights,
It's kind of crazy.
So we had the Arts Nights in December, and those were big concerts for the parents. I got my ukulele club to play Wild Thing for that always.
So
that was
good.
the classic.
Yep. Always a good time.
We also had the acoustic charity concert
Right.
in the spring. Yeah,
So that's already 3.
yeah.
Can you
And
explain the
musical.
Celtics on Broadway for me? Because all I see is, the Boston Celtics playing...
Yeah, well,
in New York, the Knicks
you should
going-
explain that.
This makes
Steve.
no
Why don't
sense
you
to me.
explain that? Yeah, because
Yeah,
that
my
wasn't
wife-
my idea. It was a great idea by Ange.
My wife worked with Kevin at St. David's. He was the arts head. She was the instrumental music teacher. And so every other year they would do a musical, like a named show, Shrek or whatever. And then on the opposite years, they would put together a show called Celtics on Broadway because the sports teams were called Celtics for the school. So, St. David's students on Broadway. And they would assemble this show of big Broadway numbers sort of based on the performers that they had at the school.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a review show, but it was tailored exactly for the kids that were there so that everybody could really succeed and shine. And it was a really entertaining show because it was always the good numbers.
Yep.
When you do a regular musical, there's like 3 good songs and then the rest of them are a little weak and you're kind of sitting through these dialogues, but it was just bam, one after the other. Anyway, that's what Celtics on Broadway was. It was always a good time. But there was, all these different shows. There could have been 15 different songs, all from different musicals, and then sometimes an accordion was needed.
Nice.
And Ange always had her ear to the cutting edge musicals that were happening right then, right? So she always knew things that were big right then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And some classics.
Yep.
And the other great thing about it, again, Ange's vision, and Sharon was a huge part of that, Sharon Foran, was to have maybe 3 huge numbers with all the
production
kids
numbers,
at Celtics on Broadway.
Yeah,
So
combine them all,
there was always a massive opening and a massive closing. Sometimes starting the second act would be something too. So Yeah, and in between was just sometimes just one kid or sometimes four. It involved the band as well. The band, you were in that often too,
Sometimes,
Steve,
yeah.
right? And it was really fun. So that was every second year, as Steve said, that was a whole different way to go about a show. And it was less intensive for us as the teachers, because a lot of them were individual rehearsals or the kid learning their part and working with some of the band for certain songs.
The pros and cons came with each
Yeah.
type of show.
Yeah.
If you've got Shrek and your Shrek gets sick, you've got a problem.
Yeah, we were always going without a net, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
no
We
real
never
understudies
double billed them.
Yeah, you got lucky.
So,
But yeah, with the review show, if you had to cancel a song, but you guys have been pretty lucky.
Yeah, and these shows always happened the last week of November. So we'd always cast, if it was the regular musical, we'd cast in the spring. The kids had the summer to learn the music or whatever.
right.
And we hit the ground running the first day of September, and it was nonstop until the end of November. And you're killed and slaughtered by the end of that.
Yep.
But then you have some time to recover Christmas, and then the next thing would be the acoustic charity concert and then the coffee houses. There was always something, right? But that's because these teachers, Ansh and Sharon, and Derek was our tech guy. Gord Burnett played a huge role in vocals when he taught there. Marianne Hellman was great for art, and Carolyn and Stacy. They were all on board for it. Right?
It was such a great team.
Yeah, all the sets were painted. The kids were involved in everything. And
All
it
the
was,
tech people and
Yeah, and remember I mentioned.
What do you think enabled all that? Like, I don't seriously. I have not seen this in any other school. Maybe Eastwood way back when.
Yeah.
Maybe Blueville for a period. But this has been consistently going on for 25 years at St. David's.
Yeah. It must start with teacher excitement, but I think we were really blessed with kids who wanted to be artsy, Remember I mentioned with my guitar classes how I wanted a focus on recruiting great females, so the class isn't all male. Well, it was the same thing for our musicals. I wanted to, and other teachers wanted to get guys in that. Right. So I went to the football team at one point. You guys are going to be on stage for back to the 80s. It was a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And, musicals often struggle with an all-female cast, and which is fine, depends on what you choose for your show. But we wanted this to be kind of an inclusive thing. So that came, I think, from teachers' visions. But it really, we got the students on board right away. So it was all student-driven that way, for sure.
we've had so many people on our podcast already that have said when they joined their musical at their school, that was when things started opening up for them socially. They found their people.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
had a whole new set of friends.
Yeah.
It's just such a great thing to do. And when you have teachers like you guys had that recognize that, all the extra hours that you put in really made it worth it.
Yeah, yeah. But they were fun hours. We had a ton of laughs.
yeah.
But my daughter well too, Steve. She's as artsy as can be. But it's all because of her experiences at St. David, for sure. That was all. Everything she did there was all of her friends are from there.
Yeah.
From that.
All four of my kids went through it.
Yep.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah.
Isaac was more in the tech.
Yeah, and he was great at it.
Yeah.
So he was just so interested in.
Well, now he's in mechatronics.
That's right.
I mean, it's an on ramp to many different careers.
Yep, that's true. My daughter, for instance, she's in teachers college, and she's very artsy, and she loves that part of teaching. Right?
Yeah.
She can't wait. She wants to be an elementary teacher and explore, like, just in what she wears each day.
Her pumpkin suit.
Well, it's everything, right? Yeah. Did you see that?
I saw that today.
Hilarious. That actually belonged to Nan back in the day. Isn't that hilarious? That's why she said it's vintage.
I was wondering, okay.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Wearing her mother's clothes?
Yeah. Might have been her mother's. I don't know.
Yeah.
But everything is artsy for her, and her friends are all that. So
she's
it's really something.
yeah. I hear a lot about her.
Sometimes I think your daughter and my daughter are the same person.
They're very close and they're inseparable. That's for
She
sure.
was at the house the other day and they were like, we didn't even talk about this, but they were wearing the same clothes, basically.
Yeah, they're two freaks, that's for sure. But we love them both.
So freaks are fun to love.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you had you were thinking of getting into business.
Yeah.
when you went into university. And we combined this founders music thing because we believe that they share the same DNA. Like anybody who's creating a business is writing a song.
Mm-hmm.
They're performing on instruments. They're testing. They're being rejected constantly. It's all the things that a musician does, and vice versa. And I've always known you to be someone who would spearhead, who would have ideas, or even who would jump in and help others with their ideas. The whole creative. Let's find out how we can do it, not look at how we can avoid doing it. Like you always looked for the possibilities and encouraged others to do it. Would you say that's carried through your life as sort of the driving theme of creating, building within the environment that you end up in? Because teaching can be a very structured, rule-based environment, and trying to sort of go outside of the box makes it very difficult. Do you think it was that sort of ideology of business and music and creation that has driven you?
The experiences that I had in business, it really told me that I can start something and finish something,
Right.
that I can see an end, right? That I can just keep pushing toward that.
Mm.
With what I do now with music, Bill, it's my wife I always tell her, I just love that it's a business. It's a business for me. It's all invoices, and it's going around and getting gigs and going in the car, and just like I did in the Fuller Brush days, which was a bike back then and a pen and paper. I have my laptop and I write down exactly what that experience was like. Will I get into that place? Will I get the gig? Especially for the senior places. When I start, I play in about, I think, 65 different senior places now.
Wow.
And everyone was a cold call walking in, knowing when their breaks are just in my head, just kind of, they usually are free around 1:30, lunch is done, that kind of thing. So I would go in, write it up, get some gigs, start with one. I made a video right away of the very first gig and edited that and sent that to places. And so I just watched that business build. And ultimately, I just love playing for these people. Mm-hmm. So I'm thrilled that business expanded to the degree that it's just almost too much.
What is it you
now.
love about it?
Playing for the seniors?
Yeah.
First of all, it's a concert, really. First of all, it's a concert. It's not like a bar where everyone's screaming and throwing stuff and screaming for Neil Young songs. So I pace it like a concert. I do some really old. I used to play in piano bars in Burlington when I was in university. So I know, about 3,000 songs or something.
Yeah,
so
like
I know stuff from way back.
Human jukebox.
It's kind of crazy. And all the lyrics just float in my head like some psychotic accordion player.
That's a good Halloween movie right there.
So the shows are an hour long, and there's some stuff from the 40s or the 50s or the 90s. There's always an original song with a story, and it's a ton of storytelling. And they all enjoy music so much, and they're silent so I can tell stories, right?
Yeah.
You don't get that in a bar. And the most important thing for me is that they love the music and the stories so much, and they really connect. And my favorite part is when I'm done, they all come after and chat for 20 minutes and tell me their great stories, right? So that's what, it's a real connection, and it's something, it's almost hard to explain, but it's very different than playing in bars. And now I love playing in bars because I can play very different material. Mm-hmm. I play with great people. I play with solo, a lot of solo stuff, or a sax player, or a 3-piece, or a 6-piece, or whatever. I'm playing a gig at the Jazz Room in a few weeks, and that's with a great 6-piece band, and it's all my material. That's a very different world. But there's something about playing for the seniors that is a storytelling connection that really works. Mm-hmm. But back to your question, it's the building of that business that I really love doing.
Yeah.
I love that I have a list of clientels. It's emails and this. I book, as I said, way in advance, so I know where I am a year and a half from now always. it's
And
just
it's a discipline.
It's
Very
very
much a
much it
discipline.
is, absolutely. Yeah, and I don't let things go. I always make sure I'm on top of that. But it's all the stuff that I learned from having doors physically slammed in my face.
Right. Just keep on going until
Yeah.
they stop
Yeah, that's true.
shutting.
And with music and with my students, I would really push them. I'd really push them to try to be better songwriters or better at their
And not give up.
guitar, not give up. And even in the guitar course, they had to play a week of keyboards too. They had to understand music. You know, you don't really get music till you understand a piano. And you're a better guitar player because of that. Now you can do recording, see? You can understand how to use a keyboard for recording. So there's always kind of an end to it.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, I learn as much. Oh, you always hear this about teachers, but it's very true from my music students. I learn as much about passion from them as I ever presented to them.
It's infectious.
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Well, there's something to be said about bright young minds and the limitless way they think.
The optimism.
They haven't built the constructs around the way they use their mind yet, and so it opens any possibility to reality, and to be showered with that constantly is amazing. I mean, in this industry, it's very similar. You have your workforce is very young, just by the nature of what it is that we do, but they also have this vision of the world it's not jaded by the realities of the hardships of the world. It's just optimism, possibilities, and that's infectious, and it definitely carries through.
Yeah, it's totally it. Nan always said if we're walking down the street and we see some teenager, or this is when I was teaching, with a guitar case, she always would say, "For sure you taught that guy." She always used to say, she goes, "For sure you taught every stoner in water."
She's probably right.
I know, it's so
who
funny.
else was teaching them?
I know, it's the best thing on earth. Yeah.
But they're still playing, and that's
Yeah.
That's right.
there's the rub, as they say.
There's the
They're
rub.
still playing.
That's right. I'm recording and writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of my former students, Steve, they're all pros. They're now around town. It's so fun. In fact, I played at that Belmont Festival a few weeks ago, I was mentioning, and my old student, Jesse, he was headlining. It was just great. I played my set and ran over to his and watched him play. It was just a blast. So it was really nice.
It was a breeding ground.
Yeah.
It was,
was.
St. David's was a breeding ground.
And still is. There's
and
so
still
many
is,
good people there.
As
Yep.
long as they keep it going. As long as they keep it going. As long as somebody doesn't F it up.
Yeah.
Beep. That's your spinal tap. Because it has been effed up in so many schools. Blueville was such an awesome school. Eastwood was such an awesome school.
Yep.
They're just they're a fraction of what they used to be.
Yeah. Well, I want to say as well, they have a new music teacher there now who's a good friend of mine, and he's an incredible guitar player, and he's teaching the guitar corps and the instrumental too, and he's the guitar player, one of them from Practically Hip, like he's a heavy player.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
And he records on my album and his own stuff, and he's just great. So that'll be a whole other
But just because you're a great instrumentalist doesn't mean you're a great teacher.
Right.
And I hope he's a great teacher.
I hope he is too. I don't know. He actually started in my class even before he was accepted in teachers college. He got a little experience in my class, so the kids really liked him. So I
Practice teaching?
It wasn't even he wasn't in teachers college just to get his feet wet to see, do I want to apply that kind of thing. So he did a thing, and he set up his Brian May Queen rig in my class and did all the pedals for the kids and everything.
Oh, sweet.
So so that's where St. Day, he's gonna hopefully carry on that. I said, Sean, you want to build this now, right? I said, that's how I did it. You want to grab some kids and stuff and get it going. So
It's a two-way street.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's I wish there were more of you guys out there.
For sure there are, Bill. I want to say that. There absolutely are.
There are some of you guys out there, but not enough of you guys.
Yeah.
It's just not something that's nurtured in the system. And I wish it was. And this is part of our movement, is to try to educate people on the value of music and art and the necessity of making it available in the schools and in the communities.
Yeah.
And providing opportunities like Steve has done in the past and that you've always done. And I just I hope that that fire doesn't get put out. And I speak from personal experience that I've seen it put out. And I think you know about some of it, which is probably the fuel behind this fire, is that I don't want it put out. We need music community. We need to build it, nurture it, support it any way we can. Kids need to be exposed to it. They need to be encouraged to really experience it, to truly experience it, not be forced into it, but to learn how to love it.
And to get some adults, that's kind of where we're going to be focusing.
We'll be on the ad. We're going to be providing the opportunities for those who had it in high school, went off and went to war and had kids and had their careers and never had a chance to really pursue it at any time during that period. And now they're coming out. We want to give them that life again around music.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So ultimately, that's our goal. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
Right,
FML. The podcast is one thing, but our vision and the dream is to build a place, a hub, a community hub that we bring in founders like myself and musicians like Steve and yourself, and founders like Ed.
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. You're going to bring the coffee.
There's been a number of people on our podcast who were in business doing something not music related who are also musicians.
Yeah, amazing.
So many of them.
Great to discover that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, tons. I've dealt with a lot of tech founders in town, and most of the established ones are musicians.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wild, yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense because they're very like-minded in the way they approach opportunity, the way they're resilient to opposition. Trying to create a business is kind of the same mindset of a musician in terms of you're continuing to perform the function that you believe in so that others will follow later. Yeah. And they build up this surrounding around themselves of what they do. In business, it's the same thing. And so it's kind of the same mindset.
Yeah. And you better believe in yourself too, in business and as a musician.
You have to.
If you don't think you're good enough to play for that crowd, you're done.
You're
right?
not. Right. And
and sometimes it's a false belief, and that's fine.
yeah.
Right. But
Fake
you
it
have
till you
to
make it.
convince yourself that you're gonna with great confidence, sell this song.
I was just listening to this guy that every time he's been playing. Who was it? I can't remember. Obviously, they've been playing for like 35, 40 years, and they still get nervous going on stage,
Right.
because they're never sure if it's going to be good enough. And these were like one of the greatest. I think this is the thing I find about with musicians is that they never they don't think they're the best that they can be yet.
Yeah.
They're striving for something more, to learn something more, which is a great quality to have for anybody.
Yeah, but to be fair, there's always more to learn.
There
You
is.
can never learn enough.
Well, you
and-
said it before that you know a lot about coffee, but you know 5% about coffee.
Yeah, I mean, people look at me and they consider me an expert in coffee, and I, in my head, laugh because if there's 100%, maybe I know 5. Maybe I've learned now I know 6.
Yeah.
But
7 with this particular one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you nailed that one. So you get an extra
But
point for that one.
But to be fair, most people, they know 0.5%.
Right.
So they look at you as an expert,
Right.
a subject matter expert. But you don't ever get tired of learning more, and you continue to want to expand, or you don't. And I think one of the challenges, and I go back to what you were talking about of going to play for seniors. It's amazing to give them an opportunity to experience something out of the norm. I lost both my parents in the last few years to old age, but the thing that marked me the most was seeing the loss of purpose, and seeing that glazed look in their eye of not having purpose anymore.
Yeah.
They were already dead and they didn't know it, is kind of what happens. And so I refuse to go down that road. I refuse to let others go down that road. Someone should be there to tell you to wake up, but the opportunity of going to play or perform for them, I can only imagine the look on their faces every time you show up, because it's something out of the norm. It's something special. It's something that vibrates and resonates throughout them in so many ways, physically, mentally, and it just changes their point of view for however long until you come back.
Yep.
So I mean, a lot of that's something that is inspiring to hear and really commended that you're doing that kind of work, because it's so important to them and to you as well, but more so that you're giving back.
I always write down what I played at the previous gig, because I'll be back in a couple months, and I want to make sure I'm not playing anything. Because some people who do this, I think, and I've been told, they just kind of play the same.
Repeat the same.
they have the same set.
You are my
Playlist.
sunshine. 20.
Yeah.
You know, but there's more integrity to it in my mind, and they deserve that, right? All that they've been through, all that they've done to, to raise our kids and to start our communities and so on. I want to make sure that there are like at least, I don't know, 50% of them that remember everything I did the last time. Don't just say they're seniors and they forget, or that's not how it is at all.
No.
And I play for retirees and long-term care, so those are two different worlds. But I still make sure I still do a completely different show every single time I'm there, because that's what they deserve in my mind, right?
Well, my
It's
dad
really
was
important.
in Sunnyside in the Alzheimer's.
I
unit
play
for
there.
5 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he and he was pretty well gone. First year he was able to stand up and sing in front of the crowd at Christmas type
Right.
thing.
Mhm.
By the second year, he wasn't able to do that. But whenever anybody came in to play and sing, he knew every word and he sang along with it. He couldn't remember my name, but he knew every word to a song, and he knew every the melodies, sometimes the harmonies.
Yeah. Such a
it's like-
deep-rooted memory, isn't it?
Yeah,
And it
very much
transports
so.
you when you
Yeah,
hear a song that you haven't
absolutely.
heard forever,
Yeah.
or a song that has, meaning. You talked about Neil Diamond. That was one of my dad's favorites. And so I didn't really love Neil Diamond when I was a kid. And now it's just, I could listen to it for hours because it transports me to a different time in a different place under different circumstances. You just have to close your eyes and you're there. And I don't know if there's a lot of things, that transport humans that way. Maybe smell is another that you
Coffee.
can smell something and
smell,
it can
yeah.
take you elsewhere in the world or in life. But music's so prevalent in that phenomenon, and it's amazing that you can take people on that journey.
Yeah. It's a real privilege, too, is the other thing. So,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, Kev, we're coming to the end here.
Are we?
Yeah, I know.
I don't even know what I'm having for dinner yet. Let's figure this out.
You're having coffee. You just had it.
Well,
Absolutely.
I have to admit, on the more bizarre side of life, when you're talking about going into the senior homes, the first thing that popped into my head was, have you seen Landman?
No. Is that a
You
movie?
seen that show?
Yep. Oh my God, you got to see that.
A show or a movie?
It's
What is it?
It's a series.
series.
It's a
Okay.
series about oil in Texas.
Okay.
But the funniest thing that relates to me and you talking about this was that his wife was this rambunctious woman who didn't have a lot of purpose other than to be the trophy wife.
Yeah.
But she came up with this idea of going to the senior homes with her daughter, and then they take the whole crew out on a bus, and then they end up going to a strip joint. And they go on this wild voyage with these seniors, and it is so funny, but also so true.
It's a message.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a message of don't just put them away into a routine.
Right.
Give them purpose. Give them possibilities. Give them the chance to dream again. And they're still humans, and they still want to do all those things. And it's weird in this northern hemisphere how we like to put the elderly into these places and then forget about them.
Yeah. So many of the rec people in these senior places are just incredibly artistic and creative and doing meaningful things for them.
They really are.
Everything from fashion shows to to music nights and everything. It's just a riot watching some of them. And I have several friends who do this, that they post what they've done so that you can get a sense of where these seniors are at, and it just brings life to them.
It
right?
really does.
100%. My mother was
Yeah.
part of the senior center for the last
Yeah.
20 years of her life. And her favorite thing was the fashion shows. And she was a big fan of the Queen, so she used to dress up as the Queen, as Queen Elizabeth, and she'd show up and do the
hand?
She actually kind of looked like her too, so she would show up dressed to the nines and do the hand wave, and people would know Clara as the Queen.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
That's incredible. Yeah, I love
That's
it.
awesome. Well, Kev, thanks so much.
This has been really fun, guys.
Two
to
things.
Talk to all of you.
Thanks for being who you are.
Thanks, Bill.
And thanks for coming in and doing this for us. And I hope people listen to this one and get a better understanding of how they can be instrumental in other people's lives, just like you did.
Great.
And continue to be. So thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you. It's
thanks,
a pleasure to hear your stories. It's amazing the vibration that you give off as a human, the energy, the focus, the storytelling. So very, very much thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Great. Thanks so much, Steve.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I loved it.
That's it for Steve. Yes, yeah.
The one word man.
I told you it was going to be awesome, but you knew.
I knew it was going to be awesome.
Steve already told me that Ed's going to speak more than you, so that worked.
He did.
It tends to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
All right. Thanks a lot,
That's
guys.
great. Have
Cheers.
a great night. Yeah, and let's go Blue Jays, and let's go Hamilton Tiger Cats, Oski Wee Wee. Say it, Bill.
Oski wee wee.
Oski Wawa. What's next? Holy Mackinac. Ed?
I have no idea.
Tiger. Are you from Mars, Ed? What? Tigers, eat 'em raw. Let's go.
yeah.
Come on. Oh, you weren't born in Hamilton. I understand.
No. And I was born in New England, so
Is that right?
I'm more of a.
Well, that's NFL all over it.
Well,
I'm
no,
NFL.
I have to say that I did see Doug Flutie the other day
Nice.
on CFL Day with Jim Kelly. They were announcing.
Wonderful. He was a quarterback, Steve.
Yeah,
Right.
from
What's
Boston.
a quarterback?
From Boston College, and also with the Argos and Edmonton. I think he played.
That's right. Yeah.
Is that like Nickelback, but different?
But you know,
Yeah.
this is off the
It's five of them.
podcast, but I was a CFL fan because when I was growing up, this thing was invented called satellite TV, and ESPN was born in 1980, and they used to televise, but they had nothing to televise. So two things that they made, the first two contracts that were signed by ESPN were the CFL
Wow.
and the Eredivisie League in the Netherlands.
Right.
So I got to be a fan of Johan Cruyff because he played for Ajax, and I was a fan of Warren Moon because he played in the
incredible.
CFL.
Yeah.
And then followed his career throughout. But I always found the CFL football to be different, but just as entertaining. So much more can happen in so little time. Sometimes it's hard to follow as well,
You
but
can't do it in 4 downs, get a life. 3 downs is what it's all
Yeah.
about.
Absolutely.
Can you convince Bill to be an
you
actual
need-
human
yeah.
being? And can we make
No,
sure
he's
this
a
is
Bills-
included in
bigger
the
balls.
podcast?
he's a Bills fan. He's a Bills fan. So
I've got O.J. Simpson's autograph on my 12-year-old cast.
how do you feel
Excellent.
about losing to the Patriots
Yeah.
last
Oh
week?
my God! Please.
I have Jack the Ripper's autograph. Is it pretty well the same intensity as OJ? There, sorry.
It might be. I don't know. Let's go on eBay.
Yeah.
We'll auction off.
right.
See who gets more.
Oh, it's a perfect soundbite.
Yeah, that's what you want. Okay,
All right,
now we can
Jack,
cut it,
we're
Steve.
outta here.
But you make sure all the CFL talk. I love that, Ed. That was beautiful. You put that in. You can replace other stuff with that. That was delicious.
The nice thing is I get to do an intro of this thing after we're all done.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so I'll
skewed
add my
your
own
own way.
flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
cheers.
Are we good then?
Yep,
That
we're
was
good.
fun, guys. Yeah.
Some mornings are just a damn lie. You deserve better than a watered-down start. Eco Coffee's original blends cut through the bullshit, delivering a taste of bliss that's as raw and real as it gets. Forget the polite pick-me-up. This is an unfiltered rush, an enchanting jolt that will redefine your mornings. There's no faking this kind of pure, unadulterated bliss. It's the only truth you need to start your